Howdy guys, OniLink here and welcome back to Xenoblade X, where last time we took on some more normal missions. And today, I'm just going to go ahead and do my regular quick check through the mission board, see if there's any I've completed that I can pick up. That's 3 stars, I can probably do that. Not seeing too many, hold on, wait, what? Voltant scanners. Okay, that's probably actually a collectible thing. I was confused because Voltant Scanner sounds like it would be something specific, because the whole Zarubagens. It sounds like it'd be like there'd be red orbs out in the field, but no. It's probably collectibles. Okay, I guess that's it. Nothing here. Alright then, so for most of the game so far, I've been under the impression that all the important info you can get from NPCs, you'll get from like the yellow text bubbles above their head. You just walk by them and they'll give you the information. That was a very poor assumption, because as it turns out, as we found out, I don't know how many episodes ago, but it was some episodes ago, if we talked, from talking to an Orphean, we found out that you can complete segments by talking to NPCs with names, and importantly, you can probably get quests out of them too. So, today's mission, I'm going to start off in the Industrial District, and we're going to head around and talk to every named NPC in NLA, and get as much info as we can out of them, but we're going to do it 2 times. First, we're going to do it during the day, and then we're going to do it at night. So I'll be right back, and I'll just cut to each individual NPC we talk to. Our first few NPCs are up here on the northeastern end of the Industrial District. We've got Professor B and Vevin. Tell me about Mira. In my time, most of the galaxies have already been charted, but these indigenous Nopon creatures, and the that envelops this planet. I've never heard of a world like this. I've never even heard of a galaxy like this. And those results from this world may hold far deeper secrets than we'd ever conceived of. You cannot imagine what a thrill it will be for me to solve this world's myriad mysteries. Okay, so this is something even people in the future have no clue about.
This'll be big money.
A scientist of my caliber should not be wasting his time on such mundane tasks as running a business. But out of an abundance of pity for Graham, I've opened an arms manufacturing company to repay the debt that sad little fellow is always going on about. I've dubbed it Factory 1.21. Splendid name, yes? The company sells armaments that have been created using my knowledge of the future. You and your little blade friends would be wise to buy them in vast quantities and be eternally grateful that I've deigned to sell them at all. Alright, thank you very much, Professor B. Next up, Vevin. Tell me about Mira. Professor B gave that gadget of his a try, right? But what to make of this strange anomaly that envelops Mira? I pressed the professor for an explanation, but he refused to elaborate in the absence of evidence. He was quite adamant about that, you know? As best as I can tell, Mira is surrounded by some kind of space-time barrier. But the significance of the barrier eludes me, you know? I suppose I'll have to study harder if I am to stay abreast of Professor B's epochal findings, right? Alright, and let's discuss recent developments. In order to help pay off his loan from Graham, Professor B founded a company called Factory 1.21. Did you know this? Anyway, somewhere along the line, he made me sort of a sort of honorary employee. Though how honored I felt seems to be beside the point. Anyway, I don't get paid unless a product sells, so please make a purchase or 2, or 5. Professor B may have his quirks, but you know as well as I do that his engineering skills are nothing to sneeze at, correct? Alright, the next NPC. Next up, we have Luladu. Tell me about the ganglion attack. I saw Kamovas and Puges and Pugilis. Goodness me, don't the ganglion have so many marvelous weapons? I should have snuck onto the battlefield with the blades instead of taking cover on that blasted ship, right? No, I'll never get a closer look at them. Why are you looking at me like that? You don't think I'm just trying to satisfy some sick curiosity, do you? We need to know our enemy in order to vanquish them, right? So I was just trying to do a little field reconnaissance. Well, Troylan won't stop sending me Voltant. I think someone gave him the idea that I'm in love with the stuff somehow. I'm almost neck deep in Voltant at this point. What am I gonna do? I know I caused my share of trouble, and I do want to make it up to Shiramil, you know, but still, at this rate, I'll be buried so deep in Voltant that I fear no one will know where it ends and where I begin, right? Alright, next. We've got 3 NPCs over here. We've got Samanya, The white whale was equipped with a high-powered energy shield designed to protect the entirety of the habitat, as this residential unit was known. If we still had that, there's no way the enemy could have gone in here so easily. But if wishes were horses, beggars would ride, eh? That's a weird saying now that I think about it. Anyway, all we can do is try to compensate for such losses as best we can. So I'm going to make sure to get those defensive walls back in perfect condition. Still, the best way to compensate for the shield's absence is to have you blades remove the threat of the ganglion completely. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you, Samanya. It's well established that the fumes emitted by painting and waterproofing are not good for our mimiosomes. It's been difficult finding ways to protect our laborers from their deleterious effects. Fortunately, the Zarubagan have volunteered to help by detoxifying things every night. I am in awe of the strange powers they possess. No matter how tough the job, they always manage to have it completely detoxified by the next morning. How I wish Jubiata could learn from their diligence, instead of spending most of her workday eating one pizza after another. Next up, Zedoi. The yellow scales here aren't very productive, are they? With a little work, they could probably save us the trouble of retaining mechanics, don't you think? I figure they'll need about 80 pizzas per minute of operation, give or take. Wait, no, we can't waste that much pizza on simple fuel, can we? The humans here are quick to anger, but I realize that it's just because they want to do a good job, right? They're not angry the way that Alex person was angry. Once that sunk in, I started to feel a lot more at home here, you know? I'm gonna try applying myself more so I can live up to everyone's expectations, if that makes sense. From now on, I'm limiting my lunch breaks to 3 hours and not a second over. That's good, right? That sounds a little long, but at least you're helping. At least people are working.
Hey there! Let me answer that.
Did you know that you're rewarded whenever a squad does a good job? Huh? What do you mean squad isn't a person? It's somebody's name, right? Wait, it isn't? But isn't Squad some nice guy who does all the work for us while we goof off? Samanya's gonna give me a piece of her mind if I don't stop making silly mistakes like this, isn't she?
Hey there! Everything okay?
Dasbeno's boss finally caused an accident. It was only a matter of time, don't you think? Apparently she even dragged some Pronin and Zarubagan into it, which, yeesh! What kind of boss works her employees around the clock with no pizza just because she doesn't know how to manage a project? It's unbelievable, right? I wish I had Desbeno's patience. He's a better Monon than me, don't you think? Alright, next? Next up is Lucy, just up the staircase from where we just were.
Is something wrong? Ah, okay.
As laboratory researchers, we rarely have the opportunity to see ganglion machinery in motion. During the attack, it was quite exciting to be able to see the invading ganglion war machines over our monitors. They were so powerful and so mobile. With tech like that, it's no wonder they were able to obliterate Earth so easily. Now I understand why the developers at Meredith & Co. were so excited to reverse engineer their weaponry.
Is something wrong?
Someone left a stuffed lobster doll on the road that runs along the wall outside the Outfitters test hangar. What were they thinking? Why would someone leave the stuffed toy in a place like that? That's for a quest that I don't really want to do yet, because it's gonna take a while and it's supposed to be the hardest quest in the game. Alright, next up. Hello, Robert. Crystallizing that shock-absorbing gel helped the habitat avoid a dangerous impact during the crash landing, which is great. But as a result, the gates leading in and out of the city were covered in that crystallized gunk. Clearing it away was incredibly difficult to say the least. The stuff was hard enough to stop the impact from NLA's crash landing, so even Skills can barely chip it. We had to devote most of our people just to clearing it away from the gates. It's the reason we couldn't start exploring Mira for a while after we landed.
Thanks.
I think I'm gonna ask for Kantonam's group to officially join our team. With her advanced technology and precise decision-making abilities, I know they'd be a huge asset to us during missions. Humanity sure has made some valuable friends, huh? And since it was Elmo's team that rescued the orphan and forged the alliance with him in the first place, I suppose we have you to thank. Over the last several thousand years, we have propagated by effectively dividing ourselves in two. But here on Mira, it has become a bit strange. Traditionally, we can divide for 2 or 3 generations without seeing any significant changes in our offspring. But now we're seeing a great deal of individuation. Don't you mean individualization? In a mere single generation. We've even ended up birthing highly unusual orphans like Min Barak who lack even a shred of rationality. I don't know if this is the influence of Mira or your city, but something highly unusual is transpiring here. Due to his strong flight instinct, I didn't think Kantonan would make for a very good blade, but it seems his penchant for hasty retreats actually came in handy during his last mission. Apparently the division to which Kantonan belongs, the Reclaimers, gathers fragments of the White Whale. I believe that I can make something of use to Blade from the pieces he brought back on his last mission. I expect you'll be quite pleased with it.
Yes.
Alright, Kantonan, how do you feel about humanity? I have never fully trusted humanity. I've always been waiting for the other shoe to drop, as I think you say. But I now feel that I have misjudged you. You treat entirely different species, like we Orf and the Monon, just as you do your own kind. My Ova has no memory of the Orf ever being shown such kindness. The idea of helping others, even when you or yourself are in peril, would never occur to a Ganglion. Thanks to you, I managed to return here safely. The experience had left me interested in attempting a bath, as per Anna's impassioned recommendation. But as soon as I entered the hot water, my skin began to swell up. If you humans bathe in order to disinfect yourself, wouldn't bathing in disinfectant be a more efficient way of reaching your goal? Nevertheless, I may suggest a bath in Yentanam. His skin is especially hard, so it might be ideal for him. I mean, bathing in disinfectant would actually probably be toxic to us, so probably not the best idea. It's pretty incredible that after sustaining an attack of that severity, none of the buildings in NLA seem to be heavily damaged. From the looks of the city, you'd never guess that we'd been attacked in the first place. I was kind of curious, so I asked Siska about it. She knows everything about everything, you know? She said that NLA was designed to look like a classic American town. Also, the buildings are made out of steel and coated with earthquake-resistant resin that can even withstand the impact of artillery shells. That's what I call the last stronghold of humanity. This place can keep us safe from the Ganglion. I am now the chairperson of the NLA Hot Springs Association. So far, the only other member is Siska, who shares my love of long baths and natural spring spas. But I swear that we will accomplish our secret plan of one day building a public hot springs in NLA. I hope we can count on your behind-the-scenes support. Our motto is springs before other things. For NLA will never be complete so long as it lacks a decent hot spring spa. Alright, good luck with that. And yes, there is a quest on the minimap. I checked it out between episodes. I can't do that yet. That's Tobias again, and I need to raise 130,000 credits in one harvest of the from the Frontier Nav. Also, the transport pilot just takes you between districts. No, nothing interesting by talking to him. Hello, Nakosh. I hear that some races who obey the Ganglion were forced into servitude, correct? Surely these races are watching humanity very closely, don't you think? The Ganglion are afraid of humans, which makes you a beacon of hope, or even a potential emancipator. If you meet any Xenoforms who seem open to diplomacy, you should maybe listen to what they have to say, alright? I've already been doing that, thankfully. I've got several species here as a result. I was walking along the other day when I got sprayed with the nastiest liquid. So gross, am I right? I didn't know what to do other than gag, you know, but thankfully this Zarobogan fellow named Atheron came along and saved the day. How do I even put it into words? One wave of that staff of his and the icky mist that mucked up my day just vanished, almost like magic, you see? Well, we got to talking and I realized I had found a true friend, so here we are, I guess. NLA is quite the city, never a dull moment, right?
Adorable, right?
Hello there, Atheron. My people live by devulcanizing what your people consider to be toxins. Consuming anything other than that, your pizza, for example, would be life-threatening to us. So this integrated production plant of yours is not able to create the things that we need to survive. We require chemicals such as the sort that are produced as byproducts from human weapons manufacturing. Fortunately, you humans seem to be especially adept at creating such things, so I believe we will be able to carve out a life for ourselves in this city.
What's wrong?
While walking through the back alleys, I encountered a creature coated in sticky black fluid that was coming from the opposite direction. It turned out to be Nakosh, who was drenched in Volton for some reason. The encounter was quite a shock to me. I quickly heeded my overpowering urge to devoltanize her with all speed. The experience left me with a strange affection for her, and we've been together ever since, but I still don't understand what happened to her. Alright then, next up we have Howard and Roscoe.
I'm no expert, but
I've heard the arms manufacturers are developing a range of augments that can be affixed to your gear in order to provide protection from weather effects. I sure hope they aren't just for ground gear and skills, but can be applied to helicopters as well. Regardless, I'd love to get my hands on a prototype. Maybe we should invest in the companies that are developing them.
So, thanks.
So no one got hurt and the cargo survived. Roscoe was able to make it through the ordeal with his reputation intact. Blade lives are precious, but so are helicopters, not to mention the cargo. We can't be risking any of that without good reason. So I really need Siska to start taking her work more seriously. Hopefully this experience will be a wake-up call to start maturing a little bit as a Blade.
Listen to this.
One of our duties as curators is creating a database of all the items that can be harvested from Mira. You should have access to the same database on your own comm device. It's the one marked Collectopedia. If you register enough data about the flora and fauna that you happen to gather, you'll receive special rewards. You can also find missions to collect materials at Mission Control. Sometimes you'll have to face tough choices between handing materials over to clients for rewards or else keeping them for your Collectopedia, so good luck. I reported to Commander Vandom about that accident we had recently, but he already knew about your involvement. When I told him that all the personnel and cargo were saved, he seemed happy about the outcome. I guess I'm happy too, but well, at least this experience should lead Howard and Siska to grow up a little. It sure as hell better. They're still arguing about whose fault the damn accident was.
Hear me out.
Alright then, off to find Siska. Okay, I can't find Siska, so let's talk to Sullivan instead.
Yes?
All the plants growing in NLA are genuine live plants that were brought from Earth on the Whale. That's why we have caretakers looking after them daily to ensure they don't wither and die. The annuals are being tended by Ivory while Caroline mines the evergreen trees. They are not mere gardeners, but greenskeepers who guard our verdant heritage.
Yes?
So we have our storage sample, test sample, display sample, training sample, sponsor sample, gift sample, award sample, propaganda sample, and personal one. Yes, this is quite fine. Thanks to the amount of samples you were able to collect, we have spares at the ready should our initial research projects fail. It would cost us a sample I had earmarked as a contest prize, but these sorts of sacrifices must be made for the advancement of NLA. Next up, we have Hugo. That fuel recovery probe I gave you was a fantastic first effort in hopefully a whole series of battle probes, don't you agree? Set one at the Frontier Nav data probe site and it will accelerate the pace at which skills parked within that region recover fuel. The way skills burn through fuel, that's gotta be priceless in areas full of strong enemies, right? So put them to good use and allow me to gather lots of data. I've heard talk that there are schematics for Skell super weapons lurking out there somewhere. Have you found anything like that? Apparently, the arts unleashed by those weapons are an order of magnitude more powerful than the arts from conventional weapons. Under the right circumstances, they say they have enough firepower to bring down a tyrant in a single shot. If weapons like that really do exist, I'd sure love to see them in action one day. There are 6 caves in Primordia? Wait, who said that?
Hey.
And this is a good one. The Canon Incredible Ladies wear is so cute, but I might be a little too old to pull it off. Okay, a lot old. Oh god, I'm so old. Alright, Lisa is next. Yeah, I heard all about him from Desbeno. These Ganglion or whatever are real evil dudes, huh? He said they've attacked and destroyed a whole bunch of other planets beside Earth. And then they apparently enslaved the survivors and turned them into lackeys or servants or whatever. But we're not going to tolerate that sort of thing. Now go turn them to scrap with your blade power. Oh, and then me and my waste processors will take the responsibility for recycling the remains.
Awesome.
Now that we have the Zarobog, my waste management division is unstoppable. You say you got garbage? I say bring it on and keep it coming. I'll take whatever you throw at me. Man, the Zarobog really are great. Thanks for telling me about them. They really don't seem to come down from the Monon ship too often, you know? So if you hadn't told me about them, I doubt we'd have become such good friends. Earth aliens like making things, but like throwing them away more. Prone use every part of beasts, especially bones. They make good plate, solid armor. No need to throw them away. Integrated production plant does that. They recycle waste for my job. Won't Mira run out of resources soon? Lisa hired Zarobagan. She is great chieftain, so smart to hire them. I would follow smart chieftain to like her to end of Mira. So now we are ready. We will get rid of all garbage in NLA. No more kicking machines, no more beeping. Next up, over here we have... Where are you? There we go. Phoscaron and Horanalderon? So you humans moved your souls into mechanical bodies called Milmiosomes and traveled to Mira? That was a bold move for certain. But why not go all the way? Why maintain purely emotional functions that can only interfere with your ability to explore a new world? Plenty of Ganglion members have mechanized their own bodies, but I've never seen any of them add the functionality to cry as you humans have. Was it perhaps some sort of joke? If so, I'm surprised at how far you would go for amusement. When I'm steering my trailer through Primordia in search of Voltant, I occasionally encounter blades. Sometimes they're battling indigents, sometimes they're desperately pounding strange poles into the dirt. Yes, I've seen all kinds. Whenever they see an indigent attacking my vehicle, they almost always come to help. The other day, they even escorted me to a pleasant place called a base camp so that I could rest and recuperate. I am most grateful. The next time I feel an urge to skip work, I'll allow myself to indulge in a nap at one of your base camps. Even when we were in the Ganglion, we heard rumors of Goetia's cruelty. They say she tortures prisoners of war to death, and also slaughters native peoples without orders just to see the torment on their faces. I've even seen the cruelest of Ganglion soldiers look repulsed upon learning that they've been transferred into their unit. That said, I've also seen some request to join our forces just so they can unleash their unbridled bloodlust as the savage prone do. You could say that we are engaged in a search and recovery mission just like you Blades. The difference is that while you're seeking pieces of your life hold, we're searching for the toxic materials called Voltant that are concealed within NLA. We know that Voltant can be found throughout Mira as well, but we must find and purify it all. That is our nature as Zarubagan, and our calling. Either way, it is a duty we cannot ignore. Though there exist exceptions like my subordinate Phoscaron who are not faithful to that duty. Alright, and I think there's another guy behind the diner over here.
Yep, and get this.
Hello there, Konichian. The one they call Yelena the Quiet has been sighted on the East John Path Plain. I hear she's not an easy to find, but if you search the areas where Skirpos flock, you might get lucky. Incidentally, I've heard that Skirpo abdomens hold some truly high-quality Voltant. I couldn't tell you if that's actually true or not, but if you ever manage to crack one open, come back and tell me how it went. I'd like to collect all the Mirror Life cards depicting venomous indigents, but I don't have any money left to pay for cards. I wonder how I can make some around here. What? You say I could join Blade and accept jobs from Mission Control? I certainly share Blade's interest in indigents, but what if I were to leave the city? I doubt I could survive even a single hit from such a monster. There has to be a safer way to make money that still involves dealing with venomous beasts.
I told you.
Next up, we have Tika over by Alexa. Hi Alexa, I haven't had you in my party for a while. It's gonna be another while.
Hey.
When we fought off the xenoforms that attacked the white whale, a skill that I'd never seen before played a major role in our victory. I've always wondered what that skill was, so I started looking into it. Unfortunately, it's highly classified. All I was able to learn is that it's called the Ares, and it's currently being kept in the restricted hangar. I wonder what sort of special power it possesses. It must be something really incredible if they're keeping such a tight lid on it. Wasn't it mentioned that Elma had an Ares? I've really started to question myself ever since that prototype of mine performed so poorly. I'm so obsessed with improving functionality that I have a bad habit of neglecting to consider the cost of production. I fall in love with schematics like they're my children and gradually make them stronger and stronger. But if that ends up causing them to be mothballed, it defeats the whole purpose. I make fun of Alexa for being so in love with skills, but it turns out I'm no better. Next up, we've got 3 NPCs over here. Dalton. Doggone, is that the skill size Xeno everyone says you put a whoopin' on? When I said I wanted you to bring over a bigger Xeno, I never imagined you'd take it so seriously. Ha! But as long as you are, let me clarify, I'm looking for a gentle giant sort of Xeno that doesn't want to destroy the city and everyone in it. Is that too much to ask? Okay, I missed something, but I guess he wants to meet a giant friendly Xeno? You want to hear some gossip about my subordinates? Haha, don't worry, I won't bore you with that, but I can't pass up a chance to brag. Pretty much everyone on the whale crew is exceptional in some way, but Burnett and Rio are a cut above. Of course, what I really need is someone strong enough to lift these containers. Haha, kidding. No, really, I'm just kidding. That's what we got the industrial skills for.
Hey!
A lot of blades have been cut down by ganglion gunfire. It's true that we may be able to bring them back if we find the lifehold core, but there's no guarantee that we'll find it before the rest of us kick the bucket. If it comes down to it, I'm ready to go down fighting in my mimeosome. You just tell me when things get bad, okay? I'll go straight from the construction site to the battlefield. In addition to the wreckage from the White Whale, there are mysterious reliquaries throughout Mira that contain relics from who knows when and where. There are even natural features that can contain items of great worth, but like most good treasure chests, they all have locks of some sort that protect their content. So in order to open them, folks have to raise their blade level and learn the mechanical, archaeological, and biological field skills. Apparently there's a woman standing in front of the mission control who can teach them to you. Wouldn't it feel terrible to go through all the work of finding a treasure and then having to let it go because you can't open it? Ugh! Next up is Rio.
Yeah?
I was bracing for the worst after that enemy attack, but I should have had more faith. After all, NLA was built aboard the finest ship in the Earth-Life Colonization Project's fleet. Despite all the shelling we took, everything survived without a scratch, and there was barely any damage that required our attention. So now, instead of wasting time on repairs, we can get back to work on the unfinished parts of the city. We're gonna find a way to erect buildings that'll put the ones made with the White Whale's construction units to shame.
Yeah?
I hear they're looking for candidates to try out new weapons at the Outfitter's test hangar over there. Sounds like they're searching for some real strong fighters. I don't know what they're gonna have them do, but if you're confident in your skills, why not go see what it entails? You might be able to get your hands on some new weapons and skills before they go on sale to the rest of the grunts.
Here's a story for you. Whoa!
We've got a bunch of people to talk to in the Outfitter's test hangar, so we're gonna start with Aganeba. Authentic Cannon Incredible Weaponry hits its target like a bolt from the blue, doesn't it? Our weapons are pretty much perfect if you need to fry fishy indigents like Lophids or a gaggle of ganglion puges. They do whopping damage, you know? Though I imagine you're probably better off tackling bug-like indigents such as the Forfex with the attacks of either fire or ether. But all the same, you really should use CNC weapons if possible. You haven't lived until you've shocked a Forfex into oblivion, don't you think? Well, I sort of leave the actual production to my associates. I prefer the easy job, which is to stand here and spout technology to interested parties. Did I mention that Matthews pays me in scrumptious pizza if I do a really good job? And that I get an extra pie if I feign reluctance at giving away all our secrets? Which is why I'm not going to say another word. He's kind of like my own personal pizza dispenser, you know? He'd probably be mad if he heard me say that, huh? Maybe I should manage this symbiotic relationship a little more carefully.
What's wrong?
I just heard from Alessa that you helped resolve her issue with Monon customers. I don't think her fear will ever go away completely, but her attitude for toward the Monon is much better. I've been too busy with work to discuss it with her, but when I see her face after I get home, she looks a lot less stressed than she used to. And that's certainly a load off my mind. Oh, you're the racist woman's husband. Okay.
What's wrong?
I've gotten pretty used to dealing with Aganeba. If it looks like he's going to gripe about something, I just order him a pizza. At this point, I just need to pull out my comm device in order to open the delivery menu to get him to do as I ask. So long as I provide pizza, I don't even need to pay him. It's so convenient. Yeah, well, Monon love pizza. I don't know why. I mean, I love pizza too, but it's not that good, is it? Is it really? If your skills arm is compromised, you won't be able to use the weapon the skill is holding. Obvious, right? There's no point in buying powerful weapons unless your skill is sturdy enough to hang on to them. So I suggest you pick up arm parts with adequate armor whenever you upgrade your weapons. I work with this technician called Alan. Know him? Anyway, I'll admit he's gifted, but he really needs to get his head out of the clouds. He thinks outside the box, which is pretty great, but the projects he decides to push forward are just too damn risky. I don't think it's sunk in that he's not a trainee anymore. Accidents here have real consequences that can cost people their lives. I wonder if he's ready to take responsibility for that. Alright, and next up is Tansaleg. We've apparently been distributing weapons to humans through the Sunsaleg-led Orphean Technologies. Now Tansaleg and I have inherited that duty, and will work together to produce the products. Perhaps you're interested in easy-to-use weapons that employ advanced ether and gravitation control technologies, which also allow for rapid movement. Or in a wide lineup of protective wear that employs proprietary camouflage techniques to attain levels of evasion that no other company could achieve. In that case, I hope you put our products to use. I promise that they'll always be a potent and efficient choice. We have completed the auto sentries and sent them off to the Beyond water purification plant. Thanks to the data we received from you, we were able to create a far more effective device than we'd ever thought possible. I don't know if the auto sentries would be able to repel an invader of your high caliber, but I suppose that if such a mighty foe did appear, it would not be the auto sentry to which we turned. Instead, we request aid from you Blades. Should that day ever come, we'll be counting on you. And next up, we've got a few people at the end of the hallway. At the end of the Outfitter's test hangar.
You got my attention.
Lynn's developing device will somehow give the power of flight to skills that were designed for terrestrial combat. Her actual development work has made some good progress, but the field tests are apparently not going well. Earlier, the test skill lost control and nearly crashed into the city. That caused quite the fuss. It's not looking like the device is going to be easy to complete. But Lynn's passion for the project remains unabated, and that has me convinced that she'll see it through somehow. Monon technology is absolutely unbelievable. You know, the armor that we've been working on, with no success I might add, to resist the strange energy attacks used by some mere indigents? Well, the Monon banged it out like it was nothing. I really want to talk to Ask Canon Incredible's head of technologist, Jajani, how it works. But as friendly as the Monon are, I bet even they wouldn't share trade secrets with a competitor.
Yes.
Your skills frame level limits the weapons and armor it can equip. In other words, if you want to use high-powered weaponry, you need a frame that's built to handle that level of power. When you're shopping for a frame, don't just compare attack and durability stats, make sure it's capable of equipping the gear you're hoping to use. I have a coworker named Brenna who works as the control systems planner. Whenever there's the slightest issue, she immediately decides that it's impossible. And when we brainstorm ideas, she has a tendency to shoot down anything new before we can really explore the possibilities. It's an engineer's job to always be searching for new solutions, so I wish she could learn to be a little more flexible in her thinking. Alright, we've spoken to everyone in the industrial district, so let's move on to the Monon ship, and I think I'm going to start on the far end of the starboard side. And then work my way around and then go down to the bottom floor.
Cool!
Is there even anyone up here? There's somebody. I went to your armory alley, saw many fascinating Earth clothing styles, but a garment you call swimsuit caught my eye. It makes wear beautiful and is waterproof. You could look good in rainstorm. Inventor of swimsuit should get many honors. If only Prone I love could see me in swimsuit. Do Earth aliens love? There is a male who has stolen my heart. His very presence warms me. While we are in Ganglion captivity, he alone was a source of kindness. How do I tell him this? Should I give him gift from heart? Will he see then the love I hold for him?
Wow!
Next up, we've got all these people over here. Holy crap, there's a lot of them. First, we have Soon Barak. All those who have drawn her ire, Riz's ire, even fellow Ganglion members, have met brutal deaths. The Prone often advise each other to stay on her good side if they wanted to live. You may have successfully repelled her attack this time, but by my estimation, there's a 96.7% chance that she will return to kill you. Please be on guard. I imagine that she will attempt to hit you with everything she can merely to sate her own rage and bloodlust. Thanks to the efforts of Kon Luarb and yourself, the Cenerapa water cultivation project is a success. However, increasing our population has also left us facing increased conflict with both humans and the other beings who live on this ship. As the leader of the ORF, I would like to speak to your representatives immediately and head off even greater problems. Once an accord is reached, I hope we can count on you to help any ORF who end up embroiled in such a conflict. Since you know us so well, you would be a big help in resolving these situations. Please consider it. Of course. Did you know the armored pizza owner took refuge on our ship during the ganglion attack? I figured that was my only shot to learn a secret, so I kind of asked him to make a pizza right in front of me, and boy did he ever get mad. Now that I think about it, the girl who usually delivers the pizza was nowhere in sight. Maybe she was bringing pizza to soldiers on the battlefield. If so, she has nerves of steel. Oh, she probably died. That's not good. I just saying, yet I'm already craving more. So odd. What's that, the cravings? Why, I'm craving another hot slice of grenade pizza. That slick layer of grease, that savory stringy cheese, is about the most delicious thing ever, I think. How can a punch to the taste buds like that be legal? You humans have stumbled onto something truly, truly, truly incredible. Oh darn, I'm drooling. I need to call Army's Pizza right now and have them make another delivery, understand? I don't care how many times they've already been out here. I'm sure they appreciate the business.
Listen.
Hey
Some of Mira's weather has adverse effects on the body, yes? But there are augments on the market that now mitigate or nullify the weather, aren't there? And while they may not be expensive, or while they may be expensive, you can't put a price on life, correct? I was walking around staring at this really cool thing I picked up a blade metal, you see? So suddenly a blade wandered by and muttered something about what a foolish monon I was. That made me think that maybe the metal belonged to a big scary human, and they thought I was a thief, so I tried to give it back to a mediator. But apparently I had the wrong idea. I guess blade metals are special items you need in order to take a crack at fighting ridiculously powerful monsters, right? Why would anyone want a dangerous thing like that? I'll never figure out you humans out. Okay, that's useful to know. I didn't actually know that. I am drowning in uranium. I love it. Sunselect seems to have performed all the jobs at Orphean Technologies from development to production almost entirely by himself. He had so much vitality and a stunning understanding of all manner of technology. Our division parent was truly a great Orphean. Currently, Tonseleg is using the intelligence he inherited from Sunselect to handle development duties, while I handle production. Our products remain as high quality as ever. In fact, they may be slightly improved due to the additional experience acquired by Tonseleg and I. Such is the power of OVA. We pass our strengths down undiminished for successive generations to build upon. I understand that the ancient artifacts called Jotanks can be acquired at Noctilume's Divine Roost. Likewise, spherical EM motors can be gathered in the Rocky Mountains near Noctilume's ensconced Citadel, although I hear they're quite rare. Finally, banana leaves can be acquired at Noctilume's Elephant's Trunk and Humdrum Peaks areas. I believe that is all of it. Oh, that is actually useful to know. Although we're not going to Dragon's Roost or Divine Roost in any time soon. Oh, that's gonna be a disaster when we go there. We're all gonna die. It's gonna be fun.
Hey.
Okay, any other monon up here, or do we have to head down? Oh, hello. Oh, I got that already. Hello, Jashero. You're the only one up here left other than the ones on the chandelier? Monon have one character flaw, don't they? Once we're fascinated by something, we aren't satisfied until we completely pick it apart. And sometimes this turns out badly, like with Luladu, the Monon running a repair shop at the industrial district. I hear he stole a Zarubagan staff. Deplorable, right? I mean, if it were me, I would have made a perfect replica of the staff so no one knew I stole it, you know? Hey, don't glare like that. It's a good plan, right? It's a good plan, except he already tried that. Do you know a human named Omari? This Omari fellow was very, very surprised when I carved a tiny sliver out of a Napon matchmaking stone, you know? After you left, he came up and asked me to teach him how to do such things, right? He seemed nice enough, so I agreed to teach him. Even threw in a few extra lessons for good measure, which seemed pretty nice of me. Omari thanked me with pizza, which is great, right? Oh, nice. Oh, right, you're the one I talked to in the matchmaker. Okay, next up is Jujani. Lynn asked us a whole barrage of questions about how our ship's flight systems work, you know? And now I finally know the reason, don't I? She was working on a spectacular modification that grants her skills flight capabilities. I respect Lynn's ingenuity, even if she has a host of technical problems she must still overcome. I hope her big dream becomes a big reality, don't you? The other day, I decided to do a little research into what the other arms manufacturers are making, right? So I went out and bought a Sakuraba weapon. It's actually quite impressive. You can tell they take pride in their quality, can't you? I did a little poking around to find out who their lead engineer is, you know? Turns out it's an older fellow by the name of Hisobe. I observed him from a distance, and all he did was yell at his workers, so I didn't dare approach him to ask more specific questions, you see? Still, I hope that one day we can talk shop. Alright, and I think that's everyone upstairs on the starboard end of the Manon ship. And with that, we've been going for 40 minutes talking to people. Oh my god, there's a lot of people in NLA. So, I'm gonna go ahead and save the rest for another time. Actually, real quick, let's grab Zuranek, and then we'll save the rest for another time. It seems many people were concerned that the enemy managed to get inside NLA, were they not? But so long as we have our technology and your currents, there's nothing to worry about, correct? The universe may be big, but nothing out there is my match for the old Manon Blade tag team combo, am I right? It's only a matter of time before we wipe the floor with these Galian losers, isn't it? Those mirror lifeguards are really taking NLA by storm, don't you think? My favorite is Series 17 Bio Behemoths. If it includes these awesome real Africa cards that everyone is going wild for, you know? Apparently, if you collect them all and lay them out in the right order, you can actually recreate a life-size Africa. With my luck, I'll probably still be trying to complete the set a century from now. Alright then, now we've gone talking to people long enough. I actually learned quite a bit from this, and I got quite a few affinity links, and I think one of them may have opened up the possibility of a quest later on? I'm not sure. It wasn't as productive as I hoped it would be, but next time on Xenoblade X, we take on what quests we're able to, alright? I will see you guys next time.